What if the power grid holding your whole life together is far more fragile than you could ever guess? We plug in, turn on, and drink up without a second thought. But these vital systems, your internet, your water, your lights, are a wild maze of old wires, buried pipes, and strange secrets. They don't just work by magic. They run on faith, not just simple force. It's true, right? You flip a switch, you turn on the tap, you connect to the Wi-Fi. You don't think about it. You just expect it to work. But when your internet glitches for the 10th time, or you stop and wonder where your tap water actually comes from, you get a tiny peek into that hidden world. Because behind every single thing you plug in is a massive, complicated system most of us never see. It's a network of pipes, wires, and power stations that are so good at their job, we completely forget they even exist. The wild part is, a lot of these systems are running on surprisingly old ideas. Decisions made decades ago are the reason things work, or sometimes don't work, the way they do today. So, we're going to pull back the curtain. We'll show you the secrets behind your electricity, your water, and your internet. We're going to instantly fix that confusion and show you how your world really runs. All right, let's start with something you use every single day, the water from your faucet. Where does it even begin? It's not in the pipes under your house. The journey starts much further away, usually in a river, a huge lake, or a massive man-made reservoir. This is the raw material. It's just water, full of dirt, leaves, fish, and all sorts of microscopic things. You would not want to drink it straight. So, the first step is a massive cleanup operation. Giant pumps suck this raw water out and send it to a water treatment plant. Think of it like a giant, industrial-scale Brita filter for an entire city. Inside these plants, the water goes through multiple stages. First, they get all the big stuff out, the sticks, the silt, the gunk. They let the dirt settle to the bottom in huge tanks. Then, they filter it through layers of sand and gravel to catch even smaller particles. But the most important step is getting rid of the invisible dangers, the bacteria and viruses that can make you seriously sick. To do that, they add a very specific, carefully measured amount of chemicals, usually chlorine, to disinfect the water and make it safe. Okay, so now we have clean water. But how does it get to you? This is where the truly hidden system kicks in. The freshly cleaned water is pushed into a massive, secret network of underground pipes. We're talking about a maze of giant water mains running under major streets, which then branch off into smaller pipes for neighborhoods, and even smaller ones that connect directly to your home. It's an enormous, invisible river flowing right beneath your feet, 24/7. When you turn on your shower, you're tapping into the very end of this incredible journey. But here's the fragile part nobody ever sees. Many of these underground pipes are old, and I mean really old. Some pipes buried under American cities were put there over 100 years ago. They're made of cast iron or clay, and after decades of pressure and changing temperatures, they start to crack, corrode, and leak. This is why you sometimes see a huge water main break that floods an entire street, or why a city has to issue a boil water notice when a pipe fails and contaminants get in. Fixing this sprawling, aging network is one of the biggest and most expensive hidden problems our towns and cities are facing. So every single time you turn on the tap, you're trusting this gigantic, decades-old system to work perfectly. And most of the time, it does. It's a modern miracle. But the cracks, both literally and figuratively, are starting to show. Now, let's talk about the other invisible force you rely on every single second: electricity. You flick a switch and the lights come on. It feels simple, instant. But the journey that electricity takes is even more complex and fragile than the water under your streets. It all starts at a power plant. This could be a massive building burning coal or natural gas, a nuclear reactor, or a huge field of solar panels or wind turbines. These places are constantly generating a tidal wave of raw, high-voltage power. So much power, in fact, that it would instantly fry any appliance in your house. So this incredibly powerful electricity can't go straight to you. First, it has to travel across the country on what are basically electrical superhighways. Those giant metal towers you see striding across fields and mountains, holding up thick cables. This is the transmission grid. But how do you get that power off the highway and into your neighborhood? That's where substations come in. You've definitely seen them. They're those fenced-in areas full of giant metal transformers and insulators that look like something out of a science fiction movie. Their one job is to act like a translator. They take that dangerously high-voltage electricity and step it down to a much lower, safer level that can be sent down your street. Finally, from the substation, the power travels along the familiar power lines on wooden poles or through underground cables, right to a transformer near your house, which steps it down one last time before it flows into your wall outlet. This entire system, from the power plant to your phone charger, is one single, enormous, interconnected machine. And that's exactly what makes it so fragile. Think of it like a chain. If one link breaks, the whole thing can fall apart. A tree falling on a local power line during a storm might just knock out a few houses. But if a major transmission line goes down, or a critical substation fails, it can cause a domino effect, triggering blackouts that spread across multiple cities or even entire states. And the threats are getting bigger every year. Our grid is old. A lot of it was built decades ago, and it was never designed to handle today's massive demand, let alone the stress of extreme weather. A heat wave can cause people to blast their AC, pushing transformers past their limit until they overheat and fail. An ice storm can snap power lines that are already brittle with age. On top of that, because the grid is now run by computers, it's a huge target for cyber attacks. A hacker doesn't need to physically touch the system to cause chaos. So when you flip that light switch, you're tapping into a continent-spanning, decades-old balancing act. It's a system that has to work perfectly, 24/7, under constant strain. And just like those old water pipes, the cracks are getting harder and harder to ignore. Alright, so we've covered the pipes under your feet and the wires over your head. But there's a third invisible system you rely on every single second. It's the one you're using to watch this video right now, the internet. We talk about Wi-Fi and the cloud like it's all magic floating in the air. But the truth is, the internet is just as physical and maybe even more fragile than our water and power grids. It is a gigantic physical thing, so deeply built into our world that we completely forget it's even there. Your internet connection isn't wireless. Not really. It starts with a physical cable running into your router. That cable runs out of your house, down your street, and connects to other cables. Those cables eventually lead to a huge, nondescript building somewhere in your region called a data center. Think of a data center as a warehouse for the internet. It's just a massive, air-conditioned building packed floor to ceiling with powerful computers, called servers, that store all the websites, videos, and information you access online. Every time you search for something, you're sending a request to one of these buildings. It travels through thousands of miles of fiber optic cable, no thicker than a garden hose, laid on the bottom of the ocean. That's right, the continents are physically wired together.